What's up and welcome to Me, You, and Switch 2. I am me, Tom Tate, and you are you, so let's talk about Switch 2. This is the latest and greatest Nintendo Switch 2 news, brought to you every Tuesday and Friday in snackable 5 to 10 minute episodes. Today happens to be Tuesday. It is August 25th. It is 7:40 a.m. on the East Coast. This is episode 129. It's going to be a quick one today. I'm going to try to stay true to the 5 to 10 minute promise of this show, which we often do not. Sometimes we creep into that 12-minute mark, and it hurts me every time. This past week seemed to have been dominated mostly by Grand Theft Auto leaks and conversations, and I am very grateful to have a Switch 2 podcast because we don't need to worry about any of that. Any of the discourse with Grand Theft Auto, I've been able to just gleefully be unaware of any of that drama. The only drama we had to worry about over the weekend was the Duskbloods network test ending early. Last episode, we talked all about the early impressions of From Software's The Duskbloods, which is their latest multiplayer game. You can check out that episode if you want to learn more. Apparently, a lot of testers couldn't log into the network when they kicked off the network test over the weekend. They had to just call it. From Software issued an apology from their social channels. They ended it early. I'm not sure how the rest of the weekend went, but that was like the big headline, was that it just didn't handle that initial test. And that, honestly, that's the point of network testing. So hopefully it's a good thing and they can get all their kinks worked out before that game releases. We do not yet have a release date. Some news popped up around Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4. I don't think they had their open beta test for Switch 2 users, but Bo Talks Games, which is a YouTube channel, over on YouTube, they put up 14 minutes of docked mode gameplay footage, so fans of the series can get a look at performance. Nintendo Life also shared an article that revealed developer Digital Legends is the developer working on the Switch 2 port. I watched maybe like 5 minutes of this video. Performance looks really solid. I'm sure it's par for the course for a port. One thing that is a bummer, though, is that this is not a physical release. It is not a game keycard release. It is a code in a box, which is my least favorite type of release that anyone can do for a Switch 2 game. Basically, you own nothing but a box. It is a slip of paper with a digital code. It is the same thing as just buying it digitally in the eShop. You can't trade it. You can't lend it to a friend. It will be locked to your account once you redeem it. So in that case, like, give me a game key card. I'd rather have that for sure. Either way, that game will arrive on October 23rd. Switch 2 fans are happy because the game will arrive on Switch 2 the same time as every other console. We've seen some staggered releases from other kind of AAA games this year, so it's nice to see that this is planned for release day and date. The classic Super Nintendo game Terranigma is hitting Switch and Switch 2 in 2027. We don't have an official release date. This game was released in Japan and Europe, but I don't believe we ever saw a proper US release. But this is a cult classic. Like, everyone that has played Terranigma, they love this game. It is on a lot of, top 10 RPGs that you should play from the 16-bit era. Here's some backstory from a Nintendo World Report article. They wrote, Terranigma was the final Super Nintendo game released by the developer Quintet and was the third game in a loose trilogy which also included Soul Blazer and Illusion of Gaia. The game was localized and released in Europe on December 19th, 1996, but its North American release plans were scuttled with the closure of the American operations of Enix Corp. I personally never played this game, but it was on my list for a while, along with Soul Blazer, which I also never played. I did play Illusion of Gaia, though. So this is very exciting. I definitely think I'll check it out. Not sure what extra features we're getting, but I'm sure it will be souped up for modern displays. And last but not least, there's a Stellar Blade trailer that popped up on Nintendo's YouTube channel and an uncut trailer that is age-gated that showed up on developer Shift Up's YouTube channel. So if you want to check out more Stellar Blade gameplay, you can do that over on YouTube. I'll put all the links in the show notes. You would think this game controls like Bayonetta or Devil May Cry just by looking at it and its kind of aesthetic and style. But I've been reading more about it, and it seems like it's more like Sekiro with a, just a little bit of a slower gameplay, focuses on dodging and counterattacks. I did not play Stellar Blade, so this one is also on my radar. Speaking of Bayonetta, over on the New Game Plus podcast. You can find them at NGP Podcast if you Google that. They just covered Bayonetta. They do a retro gaming podcast where they cover a different show every single week, or a different game every week. They play it. They have a big community that plays the game. I had the pleasure of editing the last episode. So I edited the Bayonetta episode, which just released yesterday. I was their editor for maybe like 3 or 4 years a while back. And then I stepped away from that role for a bit. But it's always fun to just jump back in and do the one-off episodes when they need help. And it was a good episode. So if you want to check out a Bayonetta episode, if you're a fan of that game, check out the New Game Plus podcast. Quick plug for my friends over there. Okay, that's it for today. Today is Tuesday. It is another day without an Ocarina of Time Direct. I'm crossing my fingers. Maybe later this week we'll get it. We also have Gamescom this week. So tonight is ONL, Opening Night Live. So hopefully we'll get a little bit of interesting news. I'll be checking that out and reporting back on it. If anything is substantial, we'll do a bonus episode. If not, I will cover it on Friday. As always, I want to thank you so much for your time and your attention. Switch2pod.com for all the things. That's Switch with the number 2 pod. I'll have links to all the articles and show notes there. I'll be back on Friday. Much love. Now go play some games.